settlements were established in the early days of the westward expansion. And one of those settlements was called Dearfield, Colorado, and its founder was Oliver Toussaint Jackson. He was a man of quiet intensity. He carried himself with the dignity of a man who knew his own worth, even in a society that often denied it. He was an entrepreneur, a visionary, a man driven by a dream. That dream was to create a place where African Americans can thrive, free from the shackles of prejudice and poverty. Born in 1862 in Oxford, Ohio, just a year before the Emancipation Proclamation, Oliver was the son of formerly enslaved African Americans. They named him after Toussaint Louverture, the runaway slave who successfully overthrew the French in Haiti in 1804.
On behalf of Akuno Sankofa Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. H-O-P-E. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know. Every day, one step at a time, man. We're gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
Peace and love. Welcome back to the Hope, the H-O-P-E, helping our people elevate. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, as I always say, I appreciate you checking the channel out, checking the content out. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to leave a comment, you know what I mean, if you find this video interesting. If this was something that you already knew or you didn't know, make sure you leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. At a time when America shut its doors for Black progress, a man named Oliver Toussaint Jackson dared to kick them open. He believed that Black people didn't have to beg for opportunity, that they could build it with their own hands in their own land. This is the story of Deerfield, Colorado, a Black settlement born from vision, faith, and a relentless fight for freedom. Oliver Toussaint Jackson was born in 1862, just 1 year before the Emancipation Proclamation, raised in Ohio. Jackson was a man who understood both the cruelty of racism and the power of self-determination. By the early 1900s, he had moved west to Colorado, where he worked a variety of jobs as a messenger, a waiter, and eventually a successful entrepreneur. But Jackson wasn't satisfied with his own success. He dreamed of something bigger, an all-Black agriculture colony where families could own land, farm it, and thrive outside of white oppression. In 1910, Oliver Toussaint Jackson, known as OT, officially founded Dearfield, about 30 miles east of Greeley, Colorado. The name Dearfield itself carried a deep meaning. It symbolized how precious, how dear the land would be for those who lived there. This wasn't just soil, it was a sanctuary, a statement, and a dream made real. Jackson promoted Deerfield vigorously, advertising its Black newspaper and encouraging African Americans, especially those fleeing the violence of the South, to come and build new lives. Life in Deerfield wasn't easy. The land was dry, the work was backbreaking, and resources were limited. Settlers had to dig wells, build homes from scratch, and fight against the harsh elements of the Colorado plains. But despite the challenges, the town grew. By 1921, Deerfield had more than 700 residents. It boasted a schoolhouse, 2 churches, a restaurant, a gas station, and a grocery store, a bustling farming economy. Families planted crops, raised livestock, and proved that Black people could not only survive, but thrive on their own terms. Oliver Jackson himself operated the Deerfield lunchroom and the filling station, and he acted as a kind of unofficial mayor, always pushing for growth and stability. Then came the Great Depression. As the economy collapsed and the droughts ravaged the land, Deerfield's prosperity faded. Many residents were forced to leave and search for work elsewhere. By the 1940s, Deerfield was nearly abandoned, its dreams left to drift across the empty plains. But Jackson never gave up. Even into his later years, he continued to believe that the dream of Black self-sufficiency was worth fighting for. Today, Deerfield stands as a ghost town, but its spirit endures. Oliver Toussaint Jackson proved that Black excellence didn't need permission, it needed vision, courage, and land. His legacy reminds us that freedom isn't just about escape, it's about ownership, community, and the ability to create on your own soil. Though Deerfield physically faded, the blueprint it left behind of Black empowerment through land ownership is still relevant today. Oliver Toussaint Jackson didn't just dream of freedom, he built it brick by brick, acre by acre. Deerfield was more than a settlement, it was a statement, a declaration that black people would not just survive America's hatred, they would overcome it, and they would do it together.
It was in 1887 when he moved to Denver, Colorado. This is where Jackson quickly proved himself to be an ambitious and talented man. He found a job as a caterer before moving to the burgeoning frontier town of Boulder, where he would go on to supervise a staff of 70 at Boulder's Chautauqua Dining Hall. Soon thereafter, Oliver took over the ownership of the Stillman Hotel and Ice Cream Parlor. Jackson also opened up his own seafood restaurant. His restaurant received high praise for its food, particularly the oysters. Jackson successfully operated a series of profitable businesses and was able to save enough money to buy a farm that he owned for 16 years. But it was now 1908, and Jackson knew all too well the struggles of fellow African Americans in Denver and Boulder, along with the limited opportunities and the constant grind for survival. Disillusionment set in, and he had a gnawing feeling that something more was needed, that something was a path to true empowerment. The answer, he believed, lay in the land, in the promise of self-sufficiency that came with owning a piece of the American dream. This belief was ignited by Booker T. Washington's autobiography, Up from Slavery, a powerful testament to the transformative power of hard work and land ownership. Jackson increasingly believed that African Americans should return to agriculture and farming. He envisioned a community where black families could thrive, a place where they could build their own destinies, where hard work would lead to independence and prosperity. This vision took root in the fertile soil of his mind, becoming the driving force of his life. At this point, Oliver realized that he couldn't do it alone and needed allies who would take a vested interest in his vision. He was working as a messenger for Colorado governors and started to forge political connections with the likes of Governor John F. Shafroth. Jackson was able to persuade the governor to help him search for some homestead land, and eventually, in 1910, Jackson was able to file a claim on 320 acres of land in Weld County, Colorado. Oliver T. Jackson's dream was now starting to take shape. Jackson formed the Negro Town Site and Land Company, a bold declaration of his intent to create a community for and by African Americans. He christened the town with the name Dearfield, a name inspired by Dr. Westbrook, an early settler who believed that these fields will be very dear to us.